Chris McCreary, followed by Jennifer Scappettone.
Hello. These are 3 poems from a sequence called the Diamond Sutra that I could tell you was about Buddhism, but is really, each section is named after a Neil Diamond song. This first one is Longfellow's Serenade. It's in 3 short parts. 1. From his window, he can see the little ballerinas. He asks his dad, "What does 'in a minute' mean?" That last trick, the old man whispers, was simple misdirection. The next is false bottoms, then a bit of the bait and switch. 2. At the conspiracy showroom, a sweater gets restitched as an Earth 2 barista daydreams of a replicant who envisions his own clone, who sits sketching a black sheep, who works at that other Starbucks, the one right across the street. 3. The car alarm was not the ice cream man, was not the missing ATM pin. And when the key broke off in the lock, I opened your diary using a rock and read all those notes about Oz as abstraction, but I meant it in jest. It was just a distraction. Yesterday's songs. Homer sings the gods of war. Homer sings Uptown Girl. He strings his lyre with piano wire, if he's got the notion, molds calliopes from white bread, then throws them to the wine-soaked ocean. This is 2-Bit Man-Child, a lesser Neil Diamond song, but a fine. Never a feather the sack of bones like this paper mache in place of my face, or fan dancers trapped by mylar balloons, or these people's demands on my prosthetic hand, or the blowback of Afrin, the wrong frosted cupcakes, and some old dude mumbling something about a dark Scottish lake. Thank you.
Followed by Lisa Howe. And just a quick reminder about the restrooms. So there's a restroom on this floor. If you're facing the stage, it's to your left. There's a men's room downstairs, also on that side of the building. On the right side of the building, there's a women's room downstairs as well.
Since I'm up here with the apparatus, I might as well give you a sense that this is what I'm reading from, or a number of these. Seeking ballet in the victims, unconsciously, she swam about, trying to find her way out the sunny waste. Something splashing, a remarkable sensation, down, 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 has not been studied. Seeking ballet in the victims, unconsciously scientific, nurseries overseeing the sunny waste radios of our agents, a remarkable sensation, the narrower frame, by any means, electronic, down, 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 has not been studied. And then there were images. The air, I'm afraid, must have prizes. And then there were images. Youth-tested shadow hundreds shook the house, marked Howe. Shadow hundreds that are incompletely virtual, marked Howe, as yet in its march dwells a loved, halting hypercrowd redeployment ceremony of purposeless dust. 5. The nature and extent of off-shelter has since been revolving inly, pursuing the rule. As if it wasn't trouble enough hatching sweet fumes under the political radar to the bound of the waste, cold cuts, smokeless, came upon a heap of logs from your browser, including your eye in old days jovial and talking P address. That is to say, coldly compares cowled forms and fence conductor and submersible pump cable, twinkle, twinkle, to begin with a comic morning of media, still very much lassoed, filament, 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 out at the flowers and the blades, they must needs make dull in a tone for internal and external clients. Well, it's got no business there, and pulled out a box. Ye fade, ye swim, ye waver before me, ye fill up the gaps in our files, feeling of having known this as a child.
Lisa Howe, followed by Bill Howe.
The 100 Greatest Christmas Bummers for Rodrigo Toscano. How's this for a Christmas miracle? Their voices were silenced by federal strong-arming, which threatened to cut funding to Rudolph, the abject figure of the scapegoat, whose suffering functions as the trailing shadow to Christmas. We only want to be helped how we want to be helped. Thus, we are sending back the life-saving Plumpy Nut and instead searching for family, love, and faith to overcome abject loneliness, sexual panic, and grotesque childhoods. Let's face it, midsummer is a crap time for Christmas. But then again, so is the clammy, soupy rain that only says Christmas if you're stuck outside of Mobile with the Memphis Blues again. This bar is as good as any, I guess. I've seen Santa get this drunk many times, and you never know what's going to happen. You just sit back and enjoy the fireworks. Christmas is the time for perfume. It is an admirable advantage for atrocious men that wish an affirmed hit with their women. All we got was a weed my mother, God rest her soul and curse those grave robbers who dug her up and left her body on the roof of your school, plucked from the curbside. She was a bent-up old lady and a rapid talker inspired by human voice recordings. Daddy, a grotesquely fat, balding, cigar-chomping stereotype of a fat cat, bought me Yosemite Sam back-off mudflaps for Christmas that year. You'd think if anyone could shed some light on the specter of an obviously undead Jolly Saint Nick, it would be him. Me and the Sibs raced around back alleys to create an assemblage of strange seasonal totems and mystical plans for escape. We'd all fantasize about how we were all going to go out for abominable snow monster steaks and brandy and make gingerbread women and eat only their crotches. Yet despite my ample post-rationing backside, I somehow managed to land instead on my vestigial pigtail, a shining example of moral leprosy in a society that revolves around the grotesque, abject, and artificial. For those of you fuckers that don't celebrate Christmas, Santa's elf has a special song for you. Although, why anyone would want to listen to him sing Christmas songs is beyond me. Perhaps thousands of people contemplating suicide during the holidays might use the sound of him banging out carols on a toy piano to urge them on. Thank you.